Welcome to the Versa Business Tips Podcast. I am your host, founder and CEO of Versa Business Systems, Shaheen Masloom. I'm here with an incredible guest today, a business coach, entrepreneur, my friend and client, Darwin Fajardo. How are you doing today, brother?
Amazing.
Good, man. So for people out there that don't know you or what you do, tell us a little bit about what you do, your expertise, and what your business does.
No, for sure. First of all, thank you for having me today. Really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. My name's Darwin, born and raised in Honduras, middle of the continent,
Right.
with North America and South America. Grew up with mom, dad, grew up in a bilingual school. Came here to America to pursue a oil and gas degree. That year that I came here for the oil and gas degree, the barrel went all the way down. So quickly enough, I got to see that was not going to be the industry for me because nobody was going to hire me.
Right.
So right in the middle of that, I switched to business, which was the one thing I wanted to do. I always knew I liked generating money, but also creating stuff that would generate money. So
Right.
my eagerness to create money was as big as creating a vessel that could create money. So my dad's a business owner. My mom's a doctor. Her clinic is a business, although she doesn't want to think about it like that way.
Right.
It's her patients, not clients. Kind of have a little bit of a fight for that. But, I've always been surrounded around the hustle culture. And I think that has impacted my life in every way because I played sports. I'm a big fan of soccer and tennis.
Right.
So I've always been that competitive guy, pretty much just chasing a better version of myself. If you think about it that way, just when I was a kid, I was not thinking about it that way. I just wanted to beat the other person on the other side.
Right.
But the competition was me versus me. So graduated college, and then I started looking for jobs. And most of the jobs would require 2 years of experience. I only had a year and a half of experience, which I did in an internship with an oil and gas company in supply chain management. They showed me pretty much just how to talk to suppliers, how to get the price that you wanted, work with the resources that they give you. So I kind of had a good experience on that, and I got a taste of corporate.
Right.
At the same time, a year and a half in, when I'm about to graduate college, they tell me, I tell the CEO, I was pretty close to him. I was like, hey, I'm going to transfer to do full time now since I'm graduating college. And by the way, you're invited. And then he's like, well, Darwin, I like you and you have given us great results, but I don't take those decisions. By the way, this guy is the guy that lives the life that I'm striving for, has a Bentley, the kids, the wife, the house. So in my mind, he's the boss. Right. But he's also 55 years old, and I'm 21 by the time.
Right.
So I'm easily impressionable, It's like my first sight into some sort of success.
Right.
The paper comes back saying that corporate requires me to have 2 years of experience for an entry-level position, which I only had a year and a half.
Wow.
Even though I did it with them, on paper, since it's corporate and they have their own rules,
that's crazy.
I needed 6 months somewhere else, and they were not going to give me full time because it was not on my contract. It was only part time. Now I was not going to work part time if I had full time to work.
Right.
So I talked to my counselor, and I was like, "Well, so it didn't work out. I need a job, and my visa is going to expire if I don't get something done."
Right.
So she's like, "I do sales." I'm like, I'm sure you watched the podcast. I'm like, sales? I've never done sales. But just the idea of how people think about sales is so mistaken.
Yeah.
Done because you're always selling. It's just a matter of you don't put a title to it.
Right.
When I came to the U.S., I sold my mom in the idea of bringing me here.
Right. Every human interaction, there's a sale being made.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was switching careers, I was like, I don't want to do engineering. I want to do business. I sold my mom in the idea that I was going to do that.
Right.
So, but I didn't put a title to it. So sales was like an ambiguous kind of like, okay, I don't know what I'm getting into subject. But I got into a great culture with selling office supplies.
Okay.
So I was selling office supplies business to business. And in the training week, I absolutely was like skeptical about the process because we were going tied to the right, business to business, just pretty much offering office supplies.
Right.
Some people will say yes, some people will say no. But the good thing about this and the best part of this experience is that I saw an average guy make a ton of money
Right.
because there was a system in place that as long as you follow the system, you will get the results.
Right.
I watched this guy say the same thing in every door. Some people will say yes, some people will say no. And then after the sale, I will ask the guy, how much money you made? And he will be like, oh, we made $300. And I'm like, $300? I mean, the job when I was parking cars, it would take you 2 weekends to make $300.
Right.
And you just said hi and presented the product in the right way, and then they said yes. So I'm like, the idea is attractive to me, but I'm still not sold into it because I haven't seen payouts, right? Then end of the training week, I go out with a guy that's same culture, Dominican Republic, makes $700 in a day.
Right.
Like he did anything specific or spectacular. He just followed the procedure. He followed the pitch.
Follow the process.
Your business. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So I'm like, a monkey can do this. It was simple. But the problem is that, sales is simple. It's super simple. The problem is when you include people, it gets complicated.
Yeah.
Because,
people complicate it.
Exactly. When you add people to the equation, all of a sudden, sales is really complicated.
Right.
So the thing is, like, people have emotions. People have a lot of things that they put in the way.
Yeah.
In which, if they would remove that stuff and focus on the process, they will get the results that they want.
Absolutely.
Well, and I always remember an advice that they gave me on training week. I asked, hey, how fast can I get as good as you?
Right.
And he's like, you just got to work hard enough for long enough to get the results that I'm currently getting. So most people work hard for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years.
Right.
But it's the people that work hard for 5 to 10 to 20 years that actually get stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I had a good structure to start in sales. So then, my first week, I came in, smoked the whole office.
Really?
And then ever since that week, I ended up number one in the country from the moment I started to the moment I left.
Wow.
I understood that as long as I followed the pitch in the system that was already set for me, I would be successful.
Yep.
There's a system already there. But most people don't work the system. The system works.
Or they work it for a certain amount of time and then they get comfortable and then they start changing it and leaving things out and, changing around the order or whatever it may be. Like whenever I see my sales guys, let's say they do really good this month and then the next month they don't do as good. I can always find something. Oh, you forgot this, or you didn't do this, or you stopped doing that, right? It's always getting back to the basics. There's a process in place that works, and as long as they stick to it, you're gonna crush it. Otherwise, that process wouldn't be there.
Exactly. They start getting their talent starts increasing, so they stop putting attention to the things that they were putting attention to at the beginning.
Yeah.
So they kind of get a little bit of. They kind of get cocky a little bit. They're like, okay, I'm already good at this.
Yeah.
Let me see
what I can do different and try get, it's always in the idea of trying to be better, right? Like, oh, I wonder if I change this, I can get better results, but it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah. Nobody's going to do something in terms of like, oh, I'm going to get worse, right? It's a good intention, but it's a bad practice.
Yes, exactly.
Two different things, but pretty much that after being in sales for 4 years, I wanted to open up something that I could put my name on.
Right.
And in the Latin culture, cleaning kind of comes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Best cleaners of planet Earth are from Latin America.
Right. Absolutely.
So I saw an opportunity because I had a cleaner that cleaned my apartment in Dallas, and I was paying him like $160 a clean. So he would come every 2 weeks. So he was making $320, $350 with tips and everything per month. So over a span of a year, you're making $4,000 off of one customer,
Right.
And I mean, when the company I was at, I was acquiring 20 customers a week.
Right.
So I started making my numbers. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey
You're
man,
like,
how many
hey, if I
customers you
could do
got?
20 customers a week for myself, I pay
Exactly.
the cleaner this, I do that. Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah. I started making my math. And it's like,
Right.
I asked the guy, because first he started cleaning my neighbor's apartment. Then my neighbor referred me to him. And
Right.
then he started cleaning other floors. And it was a building, a condo
Right.
building. So I started seeing him every day in
Right.
the condo, even the days that he was not cleaning my place. So obviously business was working.
Yeah.
So I remember asking him like, hey, so how many customers you got? And he's like, I got like 200, 250. Yeah. And there's a guy that doesn't speak any English,
Wow.
doesn't even smile,
Wow.
no people skills, literally. You come in clean, and
Right.
that
And
will
you're
be
like, dude, if this guy can get 200 customers, I can
yeah,
get 2,000.
exactly.
Yeah.
I just made the math.
Yeah.
And I was like, how many doors did it took you? How many doors do you knocked? I'm like, no, I'm referral based.
So he's not even,
So he's
yeah.
not even, he doesn't even have an engine to push
Right.
sales. He's just working off of the mercy of their customers, just
Right.
referring them,
Yeah.
and I was like, damn, so there's really an opportunity in terms of like a real business professional that can come into this industry and take it seriously,
Right.
because he had a team of like 6 people, but he was still cleaning. So he
Right.
was working in the business,
Right.
on the business.
Right.
So I was like, what if I can, no, what if no? When I hire, I think about myself like a bridge between the hardest working people on earth
Right.
and the best customers that the market can offer.
Right.
Because the cleaners, let's say we're in 12 houses right now. None of those 12 houses that we're doing today would have taken place, or we will be in those houses if I would have not knocked in their doors and
Right.
presented
Yeah.
the
I've
product.
seen your videos on Instagram, man. It's so I got to ask you when you're going to these and most of the time they're huge homes, right?
Yeah,
So are you
yeah,
saying right now your cleaners are cleaning 12 houses right now?
yeah, today.
Wow.
Yeah, we're doing
That's
12 houses
crazy.
today. Yeah, and all the way from 4 a.m. till 8 p.m. We're in 3
Wow.
houses right now.
Wow.
So, the thing is just filling up the schedule, as long
Yeah.
as they're plugging in their hours. I got guys plugging in 80 hours a week.
Wow.
Like, and the guys want to do it,
Right.
because they work in a great environment. You clean a $2 million home, they like offer you lunch.
Oh
You're
yeah.
like in there, like they treat you like family.
Yeah.
So going from like my best guy, Robert, he was a carpenter. He was making $350 a week as a carpenter.
Wow.
He made $2,000 last week with me for almost the same amount of work of hours.
Wow.
And he says that the culture is way better.
Yeah.
While in a carpenter, he was working outside on the in the bare sun and all that
Right.
stuff. Now
And in
he's like,
Texas, that's brutal.
brutal, bro. 100 degrees, but it feels
Right.
110.
Yeah.
And then he's in a $2 million home, right? Now being treated well, like, hey, here's water, give him lunch. He gets treated like he feels like he's growing.
Right.
And since they're exposed to like the English language, they're now getting used to it. And customers are telling me, yeah, I already spoke to Robert. And I'm like, well, Robert doesn't speak in English. It was good enough for me. And I'm like, well, when this guy got to the company, he didn't speak a lick of English.
That's great, man.
So being in the right environment also, you got to make sure that the guys are not just growing on money.
Right.
You got to make sure you're building a great relationship, but they're also growing as a person.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Those are the 3 pillars.
100%. So I got to ask, so you said, so your mom is a doctor. She has a clinic. Your dad is what kind of business is your dad in?
Agricultural engineering.
Okay.
So agricultural business. So let's say he has the agri-commercial, like let's say if you have cows, farms,
Right.
all that stuff. he will get you ready pretty much for Christmas to get ready of all the porks, everything you have, all the cattle. Like if you want to plant like pineapples, okay, when do you want the pineapples for? He will do a study on the land, and then
Okay.
he will recognize some fertilizers and all that stuff. But he's also an engineer, but also has his own store. So
Very
the
cool.
contract was like this: I give you the consultation,
Right.
but everything that comes out of my consultation in terms of product comes out of my store.
Right. That's
So
smart.
yeah, so
Very
he
cool.
does both, but he still has the 6 locations pretty much in which people can go and buy. But
Very
that's his
cool.
business pretty much.
Okay. And is that here in the US or is that in
Yeah,
Honduras?
in Honduras, yeah.
Okay.
They don't like it here. They don't
Right,
like
right. Yeah, no,
it.
I get that, man. Like I'm from England. Most of my family, or all my family, except for my parents and my siblings, are here in the States, and they're in the cattle business, in England, and watching them, really is what got me to starting my first business. So is this your first business? Is the cleaning business the first business you created, or did you have an early on entrepreneurial um go of it? Like for me, I started my first business when I was 7. It was
Yeah,
cutting
I
grass
remember
and raking leaves and stuff
landscaping.
like that. But I'm just blown away by your success. Is that your first business?
No, I
Okay.
mean, if you put it into perspective, that's not the first one.
Right.
The first one was when I was 6 years old, I think, six
Right.
or seven. I don't really remember this, but my mom tells me. I don't know if I told you, but I met my mom when I was 8 years old. My
Yeah.
mom went to Mexico to get her master's degree,
Right.
and we were talking on the phone. And now she tells me, right? We were moving houses. My mom bought a house, and like we were moving into the new house, and we were
Right.
getting ready for her to come back to the country and like pretty much live with us. So in the process of moving, you're like throwing away stuff and all
Right.
this stuff. And I have a pack of toys all over my house. So they're like, "Hey, we're gonna throw them away. We're gonna give them away." And they say that I said, "No, you're not throwing anything away. I'm grabbing all the toys and I'm doing a yard sale." I'm
Bro,
like,
I have almost an identical story. That's crazy. When we first moved to America,
uh-huh.
we moved into a house where the guys they wanted to leave everything. They were moving to Florida, and we were in Minnesota. They're like, nothing will go in Florida. I said, leave it, leave all of it. We'll take the house as is. My parents were like, what are you talking about? You're not buying this house. I'm like, leave everything. I'll sell it all. And within a few months, I had a yard sale every single day for 2 months and sold it all.
Yeah, yeah, it works. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people walk by the house.
Yep.
But I don't really remember it, but I can see people approaching me now that my
Right.
mom tells me like
Right. You
specific.
get some glimpses of it.
I
Yeah.
remember some glimpse of it, but other than that, when I was older, in ninth grade, I don't know how old I was, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah. Probably
We
14, 15.
we opened a chicken farm with two
Right.
more friends. So we started with 100, then we did to 200, then
100
300.
chickens?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive for starting out.
Yeah. 100. We did 100 because we were 3 people, right? So we're
Right.
like, okay, you're responsible for 33. I'm responsible
Right.
for 33. And we moved from 100 to 1,000 in
Wow.
like 6 months,
Very
you
cool.
know, and we were producing and we were selling it. We
Right.
were selling it because I mean I live in a small town in Honduras, so
Right.
when I go to restaurants, if I knew how to door knock back then, that would have helped me a
Oh,
ton.
yeah.
But we did that for at least a year. But we closed the business because we had a massive hurricane that took away one of the bridges that was connecting to the farm,
Oh, no.
and the chickens weren't without food for like a week.
Oh, man.
And back then we had 1,000 running, so you can only imagine when we got to the farm, there were like chicken legs everywhere. They
Oh,
were eating them each other. So
yeah. That's horrible.
it was
Damn.
it was hard, but I was already phasing out to college. I was like a
Right.
year or two away. So
Right.
my mom saw me get a little bit attached to the business, so she was like, "Okay, yeah, but you're going."
Right.
I was
Yeah.
actually happy that happened, so that way
Yeah,
I could
exactly.
back into
Yeah.
going to the US. And then here, I mean, getting into sales, it was being like your own business,
Right.
like
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like with sales, what people don't realize is like you were literally responsible for your income, right? The
exactly.
more you put into it, the harder you work, the better you follow that process, the more money you're going to make.
Yep.
Right. That's cool, man. We've got very similar journeys as far as, going from A to B. So what's next for you? So you've got this cleaning company, you're
Mhm.
still knocking on doors. Are you getting commercial? Are you going into like the commercial side of things? Are you strictly residential? Like what's next in growing this business? How long you been in business now?
A year now.
A
A year now.
year. That's it.
Yeah, that's it, man.
That's crazy. And how many customers do you have?
250, almost 300
In a year.
in a year. Yeah.
That's
I've,
crazy.
I've actually slowed down. I mean, I went door knocking today. I got 3 customers and I had to slow down
Right.
because we don't have the personnel. I'm like
Right.
booking appointments for 2 months out,
Wow.
and I cannot really do that in cleaning because
Right.
I mean, 2 months out is 2 out. I'm not a landscaping company that you can
Right.
plan a year out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I gotta backtrack a little bit and then focus more on recruiting, finding the
Yeah.
right talent so we can start growing. So I mean, if you ask me what's next, I mean, commercial is definitely the thing because look, once you get in the door with these businesses, the biggest thing is that they ask you for more people. Let's say
Right.
we started cleaning engineering firm, and then we were doing 3 times a week cleaning. Then they went to 4 times. Then we're 5 times there. Now they require me to have 3 people there full time. So
Wow.
we're doing day porting, kind of like picking stuff
Yeah.
around, like that's a full salary because it's 40 hours a week per person. So it's
Wow.
120 hours, So I am focusing on that part because
Wow. That's very cool.
if a company, like pretty much I'm being like the hiring company between,
Right.
I'm like a recruiter kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
thing, because here in Austin, although the economy is growing, people don't want to work.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
that's the whole country, man. It's crazy.
yeah, like they're in a job for a week and then they're gone.
Yeah.
So our companies that see how hard our guys work, and it's like, okay, can you give me a person that's just here all the time?
Yeah.
So we're branching out on that business, and I like it because I give the guys the opportunity of like, you know what, you're gonna clock in, clock out, you're gonna go to the same location. And sometimes you got to offer that to people because sometimes
Right.
that's what people are looking for,
Yeah.
especially when you have families and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's good. So now you have those options when you're recruiting. You can say, "Hey, look, we have some different." If it's the right fit, it's like, "Hey, look, we have some different options. What's going to be better for you?" And so you have those different options. That's very cool, man.
exactly. And then we're tilting into moving into industrial a little bit. We have
Nice.
gotten a couple calls of like doing a whole garage of like where they store planes,
Wow.
you know,
Yeah.
on power washing and like washing the floors and stuff
Wow.
like that.
Yeah.
And it's not,
Hangars are huge. That's a big job.
there you go. But then you need a
And they have to be
machine
done on a regular basis,
on a
especially, I mean,
regular day.
if it's a busy hangar, like,
It's every 2 weeks. It's every two
wow.
weeks. It's every 2 weeks because they cannot be any streaks on the floor, nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
There's
come
certain,
and
there's
that's
certain
regulated,
rules they have to stick with. Yeah.
So it will cost you less to pay for the cleaning that it will cost you to pay for the fee
Right.
that they will penalize you with. So, I mean, I'm growing organically,
Yeah.
because sometimes I think I push the company too much in terms of sales, and then I bring all this work to the guys, and they're
Yeah,
like,
and you got to have the personnel to be able to. Yeah, I do. I'm the same way. It's like we end up getting abundance of leads, and then it's like, oh, we got to slow down a little bit. We got to make sure we can handle it all.
yeah,
I totally get it. I feel like that's just a natural thing. We know it's not the right thing to do, but we do it anyway, and then we fix it.
you
It's
figure it
just
out.
yeah, exactly. It's just the way it is. So what changed, right? So you've created this incredible business over the last year.
Yes.
A year ago, you were nowhere. I mean, you weren't driving the car that you have, living in the place you have, doing the things that you're doing, getting the custom suits. The lifestyle has completely changed in a year.
Yeah.
What happened that, I mean, I know you told me your story, but is there something in your brain or some kind of something that happened that was like, I don't want to be average anymore. I'm ready to be great. Like what happened?
No, for sure. I mean, they say they say they say there's never a turning point, but I
Right.
think there is.
Yeah.
There is a turning point whenever the accumulation of all the little things that have happened that you haven't taken the best decision for yourself. Like there's the last drop
Right.
that will just like the cup will go over. Like there's always that last drop. And for me was being in a position of sales, making a ton of money, but having for sure knowing in my heart that I was not building something that was gonna outlast me.
Right.
I was building a life that could pay my bills and give me a little bit of, six figures. I mean, it gives you a little bit of like a lifestyle kind of
Right.
thing, but it doesn't give you enough to like actually build something.
Right.
And second, outlast you.
Yeah.
I've always picture a business in which my son carries and the son of my son carries and something that can be like, for generations that's gonna outlast me. And I was
Right.
literally not fulfilling my potential. So I mean, and the point that I was at when I opened up the business, I was 250 pounds. I had some money saved
A
up, but
year ago you were 250 pounds?
yeah,
Dude, way to go, bro.
250 pounds. So,
What's your secret?
I mean, exercise 45 minutes every day,
Okay.
gallon of water a day,
Yeah.
and then making sure that when you're eating, you're not eating fast food and
Right.
you're eating like whole foods. That's
Right.
it. That's
It's
the
that
game.
simple. So would you
Yeah,
say discipline is the key?
yeah, discipline's the key. I mean, in everything you do, you set out for a goal and then you create the plan and the plan runs you. You don't
Right.
run the plan. Many people are like, "Yeah, we're gonna run the play." No, 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 no. You already decided what play you're gonna make. So the
Right.
play the play must run you
Yeah.
for the play to be perfectly as you created it in your mind.
Right.
I've always thought about the fact of like, I'm going to decide the person that I want to become, and I'm going to let that person take the decisions for the next 5 to 10 years of what am I going to do. Because the current self that I am right now doesn't have the willpower that person 10 years from now will have.
I love that.
So I got to have that dictator,
Yeah.
So, and then at the
What
end of the day,
would
is,
that person do? I like that.
yeah. Well, okay, so I'm going to do something right now, right? Does it feel right now?
Right.
Yes. Okay, would it feel good in 10 years?
Right.
What would my best self 20 years from now will say about this one act that I'm doing right now?
Right.
You got to consult with your dream life,
Right.
something's good doing or not. So, like,
Very smart. I like that.
and that's a conversation that went on me. I'm like, I'm actually not fulfilling my potential or my purpose. I like have this Lamborghini, but I'm running on ice. And
Right.
like it's not good. So I was 250 pounds. I had some money, but not enough to create a great life. And I hadn't built something that I knew I had the willpower for.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I sat down. I remember this day like it was yesterday, bro. I sat down with a piece of paper in front of me and I was like, okay, these are the conditions that I am right now.
Right.
My conditions won't define me, but my decisions that I take from here and now. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to where I want to go with what I currently have. So I like put my finances, everything on order. And I'm like, okay, I've been thinking about this cleaning company. I can fucking do it. And then I took one step the next day. And I think if somebody wants to get something done, if
Yeah.
they got an idea, they got to do it the next day.
Do you
If
have
not,
to?
the impulse is going to go down.
Yep.
Like if you have a business idea, then take a step tomorrow.
Yep.
And because that step that you took that day is going to compromise the next day. It's going to be like, oh, I already took a step. I might as well
Yep.
just take another one.
Exactly. And they just keep going and going and going. 100%.
You talk yourself into it.
Yep.
Kind of thing. Because when you're in the middle of it, you're not sure about what you're doing.
Right.
Like you're just building the plane as you're flying.
Yep.
So for me it was like, okay, what's gonna make me confident enough to like make sure that I can build this business? Okay, business, customers. Okay, I gotta go find customers. the first 5 customers that I had in the cleaning business, I didn't even have button a mop. I didn't have nothing. I was just like, "Hi, my name is Darwin. This is my company." I wanted to see if this would work first.
Right.
What if people wouldn't buy it? You
Right.
know, like, and then the first day I got 5 customers, and I'm like, "Oh shit, this is
No,
gonna."
I gotta get some cleaning supplies.
That same day, I got all my cleaning stuff.
That's awesome, bro.
That same day, like, I literally explained the whole process. I had an idea of how it was gonna
But
be
that's the
clean.
way to do it, man. Like too many people put the cart before the horse. You got to know you've got a viable business first before you go buying computers and cleaning supplies and whatever it is. Dude, that's the way to do it, man. Like, was that just an idea or did you hear that somewhere or like, was it just a natural thing or?
Honestly, the experience on sales helped me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, when I first started on sales, I went ahead and tried it. I was like,
Right.
let me go see if this works. Like, I
Right.
actually got to see if it worked before I got immersed on it.
Right.
When I saw this guy sell, and I'm like, well, I could do that. I was
Right.
completely convinced, like being able to see it is believing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me see if this actually works. I'm gonna give
Right.
it 100%, and
And then you
once
did, it worked, and then it was boom.
then I'm like, okay, if it works, I remember saying this to myself: if it works, I'm not gonna back out.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna give myself 3 months of like horse blinders. If it doesn't work, week 1 or week 2 or week 3, I'ma still push.
Yep.
But if it works, now it's not a like. Now it's a must.
Right.
You know.
So now you've been in business for a year. You've gone from 0 customers to almost 300. Where's your revenue at, if you don't mind me asking? Like, how much revenue do you think you'll do this year?
2.3 million.
Holy shit! And you've been in business for 1 year.
1 year. Yeah.
Dude, that's incredible, bro. Bravo.
Yeah.
Very cool. So,
I mean,
I mean, obviously there's been things that have gotten you to where you are. It's the hard work, it's the dedication. I mean, hell, anybody can go from 250 pounds to looking like a rock star. Like that's pretty freaking impressive. So I heard you say something online once about your take on motivation. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember it really made me open my mind and think. What is your take on motivation, and what keeps you going every day?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about motivation, just like, it doesn't incite me as much
Right.
as discipline, because a motivated person can do anything. If you're under the influence of something, you can go through a wall.
Right.
But what happens when it's raining and you don't want to go outside? What happens when you're like 20 doors in and everybody has says no? What happens when the car breaks in the middle of like a cleaning day, when you got 12 houses on queue? Like, what keeps you going is discipline. I don't want something that's going to get me going. I want something that's going to take me forever.
Right.
And motivation has proven to not take me there forever.
Right.
It's proven.
See, that's the thing with see, motivation. That's always been my take on motivation too. Is motivation, you need it daily, you need it constantly, right? It keeps you going. But discipline is something that's constant. You either have discipline or you don't.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something that you can build.
Yeah.
But people gotta stop relying on motivation, because motivation's crap. I mean, it's just not consistent enough to build an empire.
Yeah.
Motivation is good for children that are trying to like win a baseball match.
Right.
But it's not good for adults, that are trying to build an empire. I mean, motivation's like an energy drink. It will get you going for 2 hours and then have a downshift.
Oh yeah.
Because it's tied to a motive. It's tied to a result. If I win, I'll be happy. Discipline is, hey, this is the set of push-ups you gotta do. Whatever you feel, I don't really care. This must be done.
Yeah.
It's like a recipe, and recipes lead to the same results. So I put all my chips on things that are gonna give me consistent results. And discipline is the only key to that, because discipline just means consistent action.
Right.
Discipline doesn't talk about how do you feel? Are
Right.
you good? Are
It's
you
all
bad? No,
about the action. The action
because
is what gets everything done. If you don't take action, nothing happens. It doesn't
no,
matter what it is. You have the discipline to take that action, you're good to go.
yeah, think about it. You're not doing well, and like all of a sudden you gotta take a decision, and you're like, are you motivated to take a decision and move
Right.
forward? No, but are you
Are you
disciplined enough?
disciplined to do it? Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So kind of like motivation gets you on the door,
Right.
but
But
discipline
discipline
keeps it
keeps you
open.
going. Yep.
Keeps it open.
100%. I love
So
that. Love that. So you've been in business for a year. You've grown an incredible business. You've been around businesses your whole life. You've done this before, not quite on this scale. What is the best piece of advice that you have for new business owners or people out there thinking about starting a business?
just start now.
Just
Take
do
a
it.
step. Yeah, take a step tomorrow. It doesn't matter if it's like a leap or a little bit of a step. Like make some research, get involved in what you're doing. Like Mark Cuban says it all the time. You want to go in business, become a master at whatever you want to do. Get as much as information as you can.
Right.
Social media is the best platform to get the best free advertisement you can ever have.
Yeah.
Take a step tomorrow, get all the things that you need, and make sure you create a checklist and just get it done one at a time. Focus on one thing at a time. Let's say you want to open up a cleaning company. Okay, focus on like, okay, I gotta get the LLC, I gotta get the bank account, I gotta get this. Don't make any investments in which you're moving money towards something. Get everything ready so when money starts coming in,
Yeah.
you can put it to work.
Right.
And then it's like, well, the good thing is that you open an LLC, it doesn't work out with your boutique, but you can change it into a landscaping company.
Right.
See, you can mess up 1,000 times. You only got to get it right once.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. I mean, Michael Jordan missed a ton of final points,
Right.
but he's remembered for that 9% that he actually got in.
Right.
It's like, my question for people that want to open up a business, it's like, are you ready to sprint when the distance is unknown?
Right.
Like that would be my question. Are you into it to build a platform that will feed not just you, but multiple families? And you got to match the effort to the things that you want.
Yeah.
So if you want low things, then you got to match it there. But if you want big things, you got to match the effort, the energy, the things that you put in, day out. It's like, my question will be, okay, are you willing to do what it takes? And then second, are you willing to take a step today?
Right. Yeah.
Those are my two things. And then just ask yourself that daily.
Yep.
Daily. Am I willing to put in the work? Yes. Okay. Boom. You see,
Right.
I'm not checking on how I feel.
Right. I'm either
I'm
going to
just-
get it done or I'm not.
It's a yes or no question. Because
Right.
doers don't take a time to, let me check my emotional status. No,
100%.
they know that if they get it done, they will feel good.
Yeah.
See, people think, okay, once I feel this way, I'm going to get it done. No,
Right.
it's get it done, and then you will feel that way.
Yeah. It's funny. My fiance always asks me at the end of each day, how do you feel today? I'm exhausted. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. It's the same answer every single day. Why? Because I'm busy taking action throughout the day. So by the end of the day, I'm exhausted. I don't feel sad. I don't feel happy. I don't feel motivated. I don't feel, I'm disciplined throughout the day. At the end of the day, if you're tired, you did good.
Yeah, no, for sure. I always said, I told this to my sales reps when I was training people. If you're not crawling to bed,
Yeah.
you didn't give it 100%.
100%. You're so right.
You just didn't go 100%.
Yeah.
There's still something on your tank.
Yeah.
So, you will only go as far as you actually put in.
Yeah.
So it's like, you give 90% today, that's 10% you left. But you do it 7 times a week, that's 70%.
That's a
right
lot.
there. You do
That's
it
almost
throughout
that's almost a full day wasted.
That's almost a full day. Just not because of not showing up, but because
you didn't give it 100%.
I didn't push 100%.
Yep.
So that's the importance, man. And I think if people want to open up a business, they must know what they're getting into.
No.
And like be curious enough with themselves to actually, okay, what do I want? Why am I going to build this? focus on the why
Yeah,
instead
you
of
got to
the
be
what.
clear with your goals and why you're doing this.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you wanna do this because you wanna feed your family. I want to have a great life. This, and that. Okay, why? And then you're gonna figure out the what's in the house so easily
yeah,
if you know why you're doing it, right? And then it's like, okay, are you willing to put in the work that it will take to fulfill that why?
yeah.
And you gotta be brutally honest with yourself. Like, truth is what hurts the most.
Oh yeah.
I post this all the time on
Yeah.
social media, and it's truths. Like, people don't like it, but it's still true.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't.
Sometimes the truth hurts.
Yeah, it will always hurt. It will always it will always hurt, because truth is just brutal. It doesn't have any compassion on you.
Right. True. Okay.
I mean, if it's okay, so the truth, okay, I'm gonna land 2.3 million, but then I could have landed 4. Why not?
Right.
That's the truth.
Right.
Why not? Because I didn't scale fast enough for
Right.
London.
Right.
And I don't take it as like, oh, this guy is always looking for like, always like, it will never be enough. No,
Right.
it's not that it will never be enough. It's that I can go so much higher
Yeah.
that I must ask for myself to go the extra mile.
Yeah.
It's something that's natural to me,
Yeah.
but I know people won't understand it, so they
No,
won't.
I mean there's just some people that look at everything in a negative way, and that's just the way it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So
We-
tell us about the gift that you have for our viewers and listeners today. And on every podcast, we give something out to help people grow, scale, start a business. What is your offer for our viewers and listeners today?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I started coaching people. I have about 11 students that I'm helping from the ground up, from like average Joe, no business, nothing. I'm working medical field. I'm working in something that's not making me happy, and then I'm moving into opening a home service business. So I have guys who are opening up landscaping companies for home, window cleaning companies, even interior cleaning. What I do, and I've been able to help them go from like making $800 a week to now they're cash flowing $4,000 a week, $3,000 a week, in which they're keeping at least 2,000. So they just double their income, and
Right.
now they're working on something that actually has their stamp on it.
Right.
So
Very
what I
cool.
can offer you guys is give you 2 coaching calls in which I can give you the ins and outs of how to start a business. And pretty much that. I mean, I think most people don't have a starting point. They just don't
Right.
know where to start. So if you give them that little push of like the base where they can build that building on, I think that will be a ton of help. So that's what I
Very
can.
cool. And how do people get that from you? Where can they go, or can they shoot you an email? How do they get those coaching calls?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they can hit me up on Instagram. It's LICD.
Yeah, your handle's right on here, and
And
I'll put it in the description as well.
my email as well, Darwin Fajardo 76@gmail.com. There's the info@dfcleaning.com, whichever works best. I mean, my phone
Cool.
number, you can put it on the chat or
Yep.
whatever. But I mean, and they can reach out to you, and you can introduce us,
Absolutely.
whatever works best.
Cool. Awesome, man. It's been a pleasure talking to you as always, man. I'm fired up every time I talk to you, bro. Like keep putting those videos out there. I love them. I know a lot of people do too. I'm excited to see where you're at in a year, even the next time that we talk, man.
No, for sure. I'm excited for you too.
Thank you, bro.
And we need to set that up.
Yeah,
Let me call you once the recording's over, and we
absolutely.
can set it up.
All right, sounds good, brother. We'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thanks so much.